What's up, guys? This is Cody Brockway back with another episode of Brockway's Vinyl Bites. Woohoo! Yeah! And, of course, in the co-captain's chair, we've got Kermit the Frog. Say hi, Kermit. We're sorry about him. He's a little bit shy. I guess he just doesn't have much to say. But that's okay, because I do. So, on today's episode of Brockway's Vinyl Bites, we're going to talk about a concert that I recently saw with my dad in Toronto, Ontario at the Danforth Music Hall. Yes, it was prog metal central. It was Intervals and TESSERACT. TESSERACT were the headliners, and Interval were one of the opening bands. There was also another band that came before Intervals. They were called Alluvial. They were pretty good. They were all right, but I'm mainly going to be talking about Intervals and TESSERACT because they were so freaking awesome. It blew my mind. So, Intervals. I had never really heard Intervals before, but my dad had heard of them because he's right on it. For a 71-year-old man, he's like right in on what's happening with the prog rock and metal stuff that's going on these days. It's pretty cool. But so he was a bit familiar with them more than I was, and they played, and I was just totally blown away by them. No vocals, just a couple of guys on stage, really heavy, drums, guitar, bass. And I was like, wow, this is very good. And at the end of the set, the singer says, we're going to do one, sorry, not the singer, but the guy speaking to the audience, lead guitar player. And he goes, after this song, we're going to go down to the merch table. And if you want to meet me or come say hello, feel free. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to do that. So... So I go down to the merch table. He wasn't there yet, but I was talking to some of the guys at the merch stand and some people around in line, waiting for him to come out and say hello, and met some cool people there. I always meet, when concerts are like a cool meeting ground for me. I go and meet lots of like-minded people and just that whole community thing, People are so, they're all there for the same reason you are, right? And so I've met tons of friends who I'm still friends with to this day from going to concerts, whether it's Steve Hackett or Metallica or TESSERACT or, any of these. But, so I was chatting with some people down in the lobby, bought a couple of records that I'm going to show you here in a second. Then Aaron Marshall, the guitar player for Intervals, comes out. Now, he's actually from Toronto, but he lives in, I think he said he lives in Kingston now. But he's from Toronto, so he's kind of native to the area. And I got a picture with him. Yeah, he was pretty cool, and as you see, I was in my Dream Theater shirt, and we both kind of fanboyed over Dream Theater for a few minutes. He told me his favorite album was Images and Words, and that he actually studied at John Petrucci's guitar camp about a year or so ago, and his mom was there, and his mom was so cool. She was so supportive of her son, kind of like my mom and dad both are, but she was like, my son is going to be playing with that band one day. And I was like, that would be a great billing. That would be great to see Intervals and Dream Theater play together. That would be an insane concert. But he signed my albums, which I'm going to show you here. I bought all 4 of the albums at the merch stand, and so he signed them. So this one's called Circadian. That's his signature right there. This next one is called The Spirit, what is wrong with me? The Shape of Color. Signed by him right there. This one is called In Time. Looks a little faded, but you can see his signature right there. And this one is called The Way Forward. Signed by him right there. Pretty cool. He was such a nice guy. He was so great to talk to. And, he stood around talking to us for like 10 minutes at the merch table, like signing stuff for people, just shooting the shit, just chatting with everyone. He was really cool and great musician, too. I also got a bag that would hold the records. It says Intervals, Toronto, Ontario on it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. They were awesome. And then Tesseract comes on. Now, by the time Tesseract actually came on, I was still down at the merch table talking with people down there, including Aaron. So I was kind of actually late to the Tesseract part, but my dad was sitting up in the seat. He didn't come down with me, but he's like, "Oh man, you missed such an epic opening. The way they came out on stage, there was this big light that just shined and blinded everyone, and then the light would go off, and then it came back on again." To the point where you couldn't see anything in front of you, and all of a sudden, boom! They just broke into the first song, like you had no idea they were even on stage. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool way to come on. So it sucks I got to miss that, but hey, you know what? I was really happy chatting with Aaron and his mom and a bunch of people that were down at the merch table. So, but I only missed probably half of the first song. Tesseract were excellent. I really got into them recently because of their new album War of Being, which came out a month ago, which we actually have the record for sale at my record store, Second Chance Records, 20 Argyle Street, North Caledonia, Ontario, Canada. You can come get it from us, but it's one of the best albums. I'm going to venture to say that it's one of the best albums of this decade. It's very good. It's prog metal to the tits, and just the whole band is such a the way they have these syncopated rhythms, and I mean, the vocals and the writing the songs, and look, this is the album here, War of Being. Even the artwork is sick. Look on the back. I know that the singer Daniel Tompkins is a really big video gamer, so they're actually turning this album, the whole idea of the War of Being and all that, into a video game, so that'll be pretty cool whenever I get to play that. But this album is excellent. They played a couple of songs from it live too, but the track listing on the album is Natural Disaster, Echoes, The Grey, Legion, Tender, War of Being, the song, Sirens, Burden, and Sacrifice. I would highly recommend anyone who likes prog or metal to check out this album. It is just totally phenomenal. They played about 3 or 4 tracks from this at the concert, and they were just stellar. They're one of those bands where you listen to it and you go, wow, how are they going to pull that off live? They do. The drummer is crazy. The bass player doesn't wear shoes. He's also crazy. The guitar players are awesome, and the singer Daniel Tompkins is he's got it going on. It's happening. This is their album Sonder. This came out a couple years ago, 2018-ish, around there. That was a couple years ago now. Isn't that crazy? Wow. And this is one called Portals. This is also an older one. This is from 2021, I think. Yeah, 2021. But the album that really has gotten me hooked is the new album, War of Being. Yeah, what can I say? Go check it out for yourself. Stop the video, go check it out, then come back and listen. Look to the rest of the video. And another thing is the light show. The light show was totally spectacular, and this band had a really great stage presence. I'll post I'll put up a couple of pictures in the video here so you can see. But yeah, I was blown away with how great it was, and the tickets were only $49. I just gotta add that as a side note. That never happens these days, but yeah, I'll add some videos. I didn't get a whole lot of pictures and videos, but I did get a couple, so I'll throw in a video or two at the end of this video so you can check it out. Yeah, I was blown away, and I would go see both bands again for sure. Alluvial, the very first band, they were okay. They were pretty talented guys, especially the drummer was fantastic, but the music didn't really have a lot of dynamics. It was just kind of one flat line, and it was that sort of really deathy metal, which I don't mind that, but, at least have it fluctuate a little bit. But still, all three great bands, and, technically, I came to see Tesseract, and so everything else was totally a bonus. Meeting one of the guys in one of the opening bands was just fantastic. And then, seeing them all perform, it was really a great day for a prog metal music freak like me. But But yeah, so that's my sort of review of the concert. I'd go back in a heartbeat and see them all again for sure. And if they're ever playing in your area, you should definitely go see Intervals and Tesseract for sure, because they're just fantastic and you wouldn't regret it. All right, so that wraps up another episode today for Brockway's Vinyl Bites. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Kermit, for being there looking pretty and awfully green. And yeah, so we'll queue up one of the Tesseract videos right now.